Hi, today I'd like to talk about how to develop a supporting paragraph within a comparison contrast essay. There are two basic types of a paragraph development. So let's start with the most basic, I believe. And let's say our topic is the differences and similarities between Korea and the United States. So let's say we have a first paragraph that discusses the first difference. And as usual, remember that we have a topic sentence. And right after our topic sentence, we, let's say, start with Korea. And we say this and that, this and that, this and that. Everything within the constraints of the topic sentence, of course, because we're talking only about one difference. And then after we say, let's say, 3 or 4 sentences about Korea, we have our first transition in contrast. Look how it's punctuated. And then we switch to the United States. And we develop, again, within the constraints of our topic sentence, 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences in direct contrast to what's been said about Korea. And that would be it. That'd be a very simple, easy way of developing one supporting paragraph between the two countries. Okay, let's look at another way of developing a supporting paragraph within a comparison contrast essay. And this one is a little bit more difficult. And again, we have, let's say, second difference. We're still talking about two countries, Korea and the United States. And so again, as usual, remember that we begin our paragraphs with a clear topic sentence. And then we, let's say, start with one of these transitions, whereas, and we say, whereas Americans, this and that, comma, Koreans, this and that. And then we continue. People in the United States, this and that. In contrast, look at the punctuation. The Korean society, this and that. And then we say, in addition, while young Americans, this and that. Young adults in Korea, this and that. Now, I want you to look at this transition right here. In addition, it's a different transition from the other ones, from in contrast, whereas, and while. This transition does not contrast the two countries. This transition moves, so to speak, the story forward. So it's different. You won't place Korea on one side and the United States on the other side. You will use it in order to, again, develop the story further, to give more details and so forth. In addition, moreover, and so forth. So this would be another way of developing a simple supporting paragraph of contrasting the two subjects, in this case Korea and the United States, within a comparison contrast essay. Okay, so let's look at how we've developed these two with the actual sentences. Okay, so the very first one would read like this. One difference between Korea and the United States is the people. Korea is a homogeneous society of one nationality and a few minority groups such as ethnic Chinese and Pakistanis. All areas of government, society, and public life are, moreover, controlled by Koreans. In contrast, the United States, due to its liberal immigration policies, has become what's been often called a melting pot, or in other words, a very diverse society of many ethnicities: Europeans, Africans, Asians, and Latinos. All these groups are represented in the American life, from government and politics to education and culture. So this is how we would actually develop, with the real sentences, our first paragraph. Well, let's look at the second one. And just remember, this second one is more complex, it is more difficult than the first one because of how we use the transitions. Another evident difference between Korea and the United States lies in group interaction and family values. Whereas Americans emphasize individuality and informality, Koreans value groups and formality. People in the United States admire and reward a person who stands above the crowd. In contrast, the Korean society underscores the importance of group success and loyalty to a common goal. In addition, remember this transition? This is a different transition from the other ones. While young Americans move out from their parents' home and become independent at a relatively young age, young adults in Korea stay with their parents much longer, often until they get married, and even then they choose to live with their parents, forming an extended family. So again, this is how you could develop a supporting paragraph within a comparison contrast essay. And just remember the use of the transition within the paragraph, and also the use of the detail and examples is very crucial in how your paragraph looks. So now I'd like for you to think of another difference between the two countries, and using one of the two paragraphs that we've just developed, I'd like for you to write one. Thank you.